Hey guys, this will be a real short team training, touching on how we park cars and how we throw smoke for covers, and more importantly, how we don't do it. Anyway, check this out. Okay guys, this is the most important part of the video. This is what we absolutely don't want to do unless we have to for some reason. This is what it looks like when we throw smokes on ourselves. You can see that we can't see what's going on, we can't see our cover. You can see when I do a split screen, this is what the enemy sees on the right. They know pretty much exactly where we are. They can see what vehicles we're using for cover, where we're not covered. It's just not good, so we're going to try not to do it. In this example, I'm calling for smokes close, which means just a couple meters in front of the cars. Usually you can just underhand them over the cars. You can see that we can tell what's going on around us, but from the enemy perspective, they really can't see anything. They don't know how many cars, if any, we have for cover. Yeah, it's a lot better. This is the same setup, just throwing the smokes just a little bit farther. I would call this smokes mid in the game. So throwing the smokes about 15 meters in front of us. I'll show you a split screen of what the enemy would see as smokes mid. You can see the enemy standing a good way back. Still can't see a whole lot. There's obviously a little spot that I missed there with the smokes, but basically the same. Just give us a little more room to breathe. This would probably be the ideal setup in a game. My call out for this would be smokes far. Throwing 6 smokes in a half circle, about 35 meters away from the car. You can tell just how much view that gives us. And as you can see from the split screen, the enemy really can't tell anything. They would actually have to get inside of that smoke ring to be able to see anything, which would be, easy claps for us. Sometimes for one reason or another there'll be a gap in your vehicle coverage. Either you're in a rush or you just don't have enough vehicles to cover as wide of an area as you need. In this situation I would call for smoking the gap. This would be in addition to the other smokes that would be thrown. You can tell here that I have outlined the vehicles in red and the gap in blue. From the enemy perspective, they really can't tell where the vehicles are and where they aren't. The smoke makes it look like there's vehicles covering everywhere. And we can still throw our quote smokes close or smokes mid or smokes far. This is just to cover that gap where there are no vehicles. Alright, so in this next section of the video, we're going to go over basic car parking. This is the most basic. We have 2 vehicles. It's kind of a U-shape. It's just going to be a normal, pretty much no call out. Just a vehicle set up. It could be on a rock or a tree or whatever. This next setup's for if we had 3 cars. I would have to either call long left or long right because it would be unbalanced. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. Long left would mean 2 cars on the left, 1 car on the right. Something I don't have a picture of is if we had 4 cars. Obviously, if I called long left on 4 cars, it would be 3 cars on the left and 1 on the right. Balanced would be, 2 and 2. It's that self-explanatory. This is a setup that we might use if we were just on the very edge of the zone. It'd be straight cover. I would usually call out a direction that we need cover from. So in this case, straight cover 95. Need to park the cars perpendicular. If there's a tree or a rock there, that's great. If not, that's fine. You can incorporate smoke the gap, smokes close, smokes mid. What would be really important on this is since we don't have any protection from our sides, unless the zone was right on us, we would need to smoke both our left and our right flank. Again, pretty basic. This is one of my favorite setups. It's basically just a U-shape on a wall. You could do it with 2 cars. You could actually set up a double U-shape, which would be a U in the front like this and a U behind us, which would create more or less a semicircle. It's real important on these that you're getting in and out of the car on the correct side. I made a video about that. I'll post a link in the description. It just makes sure that you're already in cover once you get out of the car. So please do check that video out. Again, add smokes to this, of course, but yeah, that's the basic shape. Okay, so this is like super important. I think it's going to help our game a lot, and that's trying to use the terrain itself as part of our improvised cover. This, I would just call it an L shape. but we're using the ridge. Like that ridge is actually providing one side of the L shape, and the vehicle's providing flank cover. Again, this would allow us to use our smokes behind the vehicle, but also behind us. We wouldn't as much have to smoke the ridge. We can TP peek over that. But yeah, I got several more photos here of different ways we can use it. Again, super excited to start using this, so let's really start working on it, please. Same idea here, we're just adding a car. I'm calling it a U shape. If we had 3 cars, I would call for a long left or a long right. But yeah, put smokes on the sides, and we're good to go. Honestly, I would really rather the cars a little bit farther apart than they are right here. I had to do this just to be able to get in the shot. But, you know, obviously getting it farther apart would give us more room to operate, which is really what we need. We don't want to be all bunched up, and that goes for all of these setups. This is just one more look at the same thing. It's a wider U shape using a ridge. I mean, I'm sure you can imagine where this could be useful. Again, can't stress enough, need smokes in our flanks. A lot of times, if we don't have the zone to our back, it's important to put some smoke behind us or to have somebody covering that way. Really excited to try to start implementing this more, because instead of having to crash compounds or be in weird spots, it's going to allow us to pick places on the map based on where we want to be instead of based on where we're forced to be. On all of these setups, if we were under heavy fire, of course, we would want to pop the tires to make sure we were getting just as much coverage as we can and people can't shoot under the cars. And I really appreciate you guys watching all this. Again, I'm super excited to start implementing some of it. But yeah, I'll see y'all in game. Thanks.